Hello, gorgeous, and thank you for joining us today. I'm your host, Kim Becker, and this is Hello, Gorgeous, Everything Beauty, Cancer, and Inspiration on Society Bites Radio, social interaction for the mind and soul. Our guest today is Donita Wheeler, also known as Mama Bear Donita. Donita is a cancer survivor, business owner, podcaster, and internationally award-winning speaker. She hosts the podcast Mama Bear Cancer Support, where she highlights cancer stories, products, resources, and other riveting topics, including suicide and art. Hi, Donita, and welcome to the show.
Hi, Kim. Thanks so much for having me. Hello, gorgeous.
Hello, gorgeous. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Well, I am so excited to have you on, and so I want to share kind of how our meeting came to be. And so, because it was just such a divine crossing of paths of sorts. So last year in November, we were getting ready to open an affiliate salon down in Fort Lauderdale, and we were looking for an affiliate. We had an affiliate salon, but we needed a woman with cancer to pamper. And my friend Laura Stewart knew you. And I reached out and I said, do you happen to know anybody that maybe is battling cancer and needed pampering? And she said, I don't know of anybody, but I have a friend, and she's very connected in the cancer community. And so she connected me to you. And I think were you in Tennessee then?
Yeah, I promptly dropped the ball quickly on that one. No. Yes, I was. It's okay. It's okay because it worked out, right?
That's right. No, we took care of the
I was in Tennessee. Yeah, we were caregiving for my mother-in-law for a year up in Tennessee, and pretty much my life, if you've ever been a caregiver, pretty much your life comes to a dead stop. And so I do remember, you calling and me thinking, oh, I need to do that. And then probably something happened in the house that I had to tend to. And I completely I know I forgot it. So, and then it came up later because I was like, oh, I think I don't know anybody, but would you like to be on the show? Because I was always looking for that. So I said, hey, how about you be on the show? And you were extremely forgiving for me for dropping the ball on, being able to find somebody here. And I'm sorry about that.
No, absolutely. Okay.
But you found somebody, everything worked out.
That's right.
And now look at you now. I had you on the show. And what was so funny, if the listeners don't know, is that, in between shows, we sometimes joke around with the producer, and Katie, our fantastic, wonderful, best producer in the world.
Yes, she is. I agree.
She said, hey, so when we're recording, we can also text messages. And I got a message that said, keep her on the line. And I already knew. I was like, oh, I am already ahead of you, girl. I am keeping her on the line. So we knew a star when we saw one, heard one. So so I thought Katie talked to you, and it just fell all into place, didn't it?
Yes,
I mean,
it did.
Goodness. It did. Within weeks. So, and I've never seen somebody move so fast you're kind of a little bit like me. When you decide to do something, you're like, okay, I'm going to do it now. Right now. That's right. Not after I have my coffee or I right this second.
That's right. Life's too short. Don't sit around. Let's get moving.
That's right. And and quickly I have been, I follow your social media. You follow mine. We're very supportive of each other. And I think it's so important in the cancer community. And I know your listeners know, but I want to point out again, you never have had cancer.
No, I haven't.
So this comes straight from your heart. And, we're told through various belief systems, whether it be an organized church or whether it be a spiritual. I feel like you and I have known each other for years and years and years, and souls and souls. And we just, we're finally caught up here in this world. So we feed off each other. We have a lot of the same guests. You share with me. I share with you. This is how we work. That's how I work. That's how Mama Bear works.
That's right. Me too. Well, and I feel like, even when I had the salon, the one rule that I lived by was I can't be successful unless I help others achieve success.
Right. And I am there with you.
And I don't feel that that's not a mantra that everybody lives by. But for me, I want to. So I'm so excited when I get a guest on my show and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to introduce you to my friend because you will make a great guest on her show. And it's great because even though it's the same guest, there are different questions that are asked and different answers that are given. And so there's plenty of people and information to go around.
Well, of course. I mean, when you do, when somebody writes a book, they do all the morning shows. All the morning shows are the same.
Yeah.
Just different
Exactly.
viewers. So, it's the same with us. We don't duplicate. We just enhance each other.
That's right.
It's so funny. Right. One of the ladies on the show the show's not out yet, but I recorded last month. And I said, I need to introduce you to Kim. And she's like, yep, she's who introduced me to you. I was like, oh yeah. Okay. Whoops.
That's funny.
Yeah, I was like, yep, you should take better notes. So I've just been extremely distracted. The fact that I could get through the last year and keep my podcast going was pretty much like a focus. So, I'm always better days ahead, stronger points, better organization, things like that, right?
That's right. Well, and you know what? You strive to improve every single day. You never, and I think that's part of who we are. I won't be sedentary, but I also won't settle. So, I always feel like I could do just a little bit better, or I could help one more person, or I could make a bigger impact. There's always, and I feel like you're kind of the same way. It's just, we don't let grass go under our feet. We just keep moving and grooving.
Right. Yeah. Right. And you have to, cancer is just, I mean, I say this, like, I swear I say this every show. 41% of Americans are going to end up with cancer. That's too many. And there's not enough of you and me to go around. That's just too much. It's an epidemic. It's obvious. I'm not going to list any names or say anybody, but these companies, I mean, it is just what we put inside of our bodies and expect our bodies to run properly. It's like it's like putting water in your car. You don't put water in your car. Why would you put that in your body?
That's right.
And why would you put kind of makeup on your face that's not safe? Why would you do any of these things? And so, some people need a little interaction and a little interference, and that's kind of, what we do in a positive way with a positive light. And I know just from reading I read them every day, but I saw one, I think the girl in San Antonio last week that you did on Hello Gorgeous, that brought tears to my eyes for a couple reasons. First of all, I'm a native Texan. Second of all, I was just moved that she was so young. And then, the fact that you don't have any discriminations yourself. You don't have any age discriminations. You don't have any skin color discriminations. You don't have any. And it's fantastic. I mean, I know this program is geared towards women, but I mean, I don't know too many men that want a full-on makeover. So, and if they did, I know you would be right there with them. So, it didn't matter.
No. Well, and what was interesting? So she was 13 when she was diagnosed with, it was ovarian cancer, and which I can't even imagine. And it was so funny because we do a vetting process with the nominee and make sure that this is something that she would want and that she would like to have. And we said, we when we got to the hair portion and we were talking about, the possibility, and her hair was about shoulder length. So she'd been out, she's still, there's no evidence of disease, but they still treat her. So she was still eligible for our program. And her hair had grown back because I think the second maybe type of chemo that was a little different didn't affect her hair so much. And so we wanted to give her a trim, and her mom just said she is very possessive of the hair on her head. She said, good luck. And I thought, isn't that interesting? It's just everybody's interpretation and the way they go through it. And we wanted to just, trim off the ends and make it look, which she allowed us to do.
Did she?
Yes,
I'm so surprised.
Yeah. And what was really cool for me was that she's getting ready to be a senior in the fall. And I thought, what an amazing way to start your senior year, right? To be able to have a makeover and just to be filled with that confidence and that hope and that love that we gave to her that day. It was a good day.
Oh,
it was a good.
You can tell. And I want to speak to trimming your hair. So my mom says to me, I think it's time for you to cut your hair. And I said, "Oh, I don't think so, Mom." And she said, "Yes, no, you're too old to have long hair." I was like, "Oh, well, here's the thing. I don't care, for starters. My second thing, I still don't care. And there's nobody going to touch this hair on my head, because I went a year and a half
Yes.
not having any hair. And then it
Yes.
grew in and it grew in. It's not blonde anymore, but it's still a beautiful color and it's got its own thing going on. I don't touch it. And my ends are so frayed. They so need to be trimmed. I can see that, but I
Yeah.
can't do it. There's something inside of me. If you come near me with a pair of scissors, I'm going to bolt. Like, I cannot take it. And I don't know why. The one time I've had my hair trimmed in 10 years, since my hair grew back, 10 years,
Wow.
10 years. The one time I had it trimmed was, I had the girl taking my pictures for my website, and she did my hair, and she's like, and I knew her from the yoga studio, and she was like, her name is Dee Adams, and she's here in Fort Lauderdale. She's fantastic. You know her. So
Yes.
so anyway, she was like, Donita, I have to trim it. And I was like, mm-mm. And she's like, no, I have to. And I was like, you don't. And she's like, I do. And I was like, okay, I guess. I mean, this is giving me like, this is, and so she said, look at me. I'm never going to hurt you. I'm not going to do it. And then, she had to like literally talk me into it. And I was like,
Yes.
okay. And the whole time I was so tense and nothing happened. It was nothing bad happened.
I know.
But there's something about that. And I don't know.
Possessiveness.
It's illogical. I mean, it's, sometimes I talk about an logical fear. And that is definitely me having my hair trimmed is an logical fear. It's illogical in the fact that I know it doesn't hurt and it doesn't matter if I have it done, but it's logical because I lost all of it. And it took a year for it to come back. So it's kind of like, you lose the hair on your arms or your eyebrows and eyelashes, all of that came back. Everything came back. I would trim my eyelashes or pluck my eyebrows, or, I don't trim my hair on my arms, but I know some people do. I shave my legs. I haven't changed any part of that, but I cannot let you trim the head on the top of my hair. My head.
I think it's because of the fact that when you lost your hair, it was stark. Like, like if you trim the hair on your arms, nobody's going to know. If you shave your legs, unless you tell them you shave your legs, they're not going to know.
Right.
But when you lose that hair on your head because of the cancer treatment that you're going through, you can tell that you just become very possessive of what's left. And so that's why when we do our certifications, we change the verbiage. So I don't say to you, hey, I want to give you a haircut. What I say to you is, hey, let me shape your hair.
Oh, that's probably much more better for a
yeah.
pitch,
Let me just shape it for you. And so because I use a different question or a different phrase, it causes you to be interested, going, oh, all right, well, what do you mean by shape? What would your intention be if I allowed you to shape my hair? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I know. Because I've been thinking about it for I got a great new flat iron and I've been flattening it, but the ends are still, a little fray. I probably need to cut off like a solid 2 inches. And I like the other day I stood in the mirror and I was like, okay, you could do that. You could cut off 2 inches. And then I just walked away. Like, I could never finish the sentence. I was like, nope, I'm done.
I refuse to give in to that.
Yeah, I'm done.
And so let me tell you, the hairdresser in me will come out and just tell you too, that if you allow those ends, if they're splitting, if you don't cut those off, they just continue to split all the way up that hair shaft.
Oh yeah.
And
I've seen it.
So if you cut them off now, it just looks healthier. And many times when you go through and you get a good trim like that, your hair looks longer.
Oh, well, okay.
It really does look longer. Yeah,
yes.
It really does, because when you've got all those yucky stuff on the ends, and even if you were to take 1.5 inches to 2 inches off, and it gives it a nice clean look on the bottom, it really does make it look longer, because those frayed edges on there, they seem like they, I don't know, it just and it detracts from the actual beauty of your hair, I think, too. So,
I think you're probably right.
A good trim.
Yep.
Well, and when we do it too, so when we've got a woman that she's got really, really, really short hair and really, we're talking 1.5 inches to 2 inches off of her scalp, and she doesn't want a haircut. The other word that we always use all the time is we want to make your style look deliberate.